Eric Holder has said that he's going to basically, with federal drug charges, they're going to get around the minimum mandatory sentences. Ever since Nixon declared his war on drugs, mostly Republican legislators, although, a few Democrats have had more than their share to do with this. Nelson Rockefeller a Republican or a Democrat? He was a moderate Republican. He was a Rockefeller Republican. In any case, the Rockefeller, a lot of this started in New York with Nelson Rockefeller, with the Rockefeller drug laws, and then, went national and became the Nixon war on drugs, et cetera. And the idea was that drugs aren't good for people, and because we know what's best for everybody, we're going to make them illegal. But people continue to use them. They continue to smoke pot in particular, and cocaine secondarily, and meth. They continue to use them, and my God, they use them without a prescription. I mean, you can buy meth with a prescription. It's called Adderall, and there's probably 1 million kids in the United States who are getting it every day by prescription, but, God forbid they should buy it from somebody who's not a physician. And actually, I don't disagree with that sentiment. Methamphetamine can be a very, very destructive drug. But that said, by dealing with it by the law instead of by medicine, what we do is we push both the producers and the consumers into the world of law enforcement and prisons when they should be in a hospital and they should be seeing a doctor or a psychiatrist. These are people with addiction problems. They have medical problems. So what Eric Holder has said, but in any case, what the largely Republican, but the legislatures have been doing over the years, and they're doing it more and more and more, and on state after state, but federally as well. And they do it in part because they get money from the private prison industry, which makes a fortune off this. What they've been doing is they've been making these laws more and more draconian, more and more harsh. They get money from the private prison industry. They're big funders of Congress. They invest a few tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe a few $1 million in Congress, make back billions. It's just like the defense industry. It's just like the banksters. And we're going to talk about this in the third hour of our program today, an amazing article in the New York Times this weekend about this one brand new Republican congressman. John Boehner put him on the Financial Services Committee, which regulates the banks, and surprise! The banks gave him $150,000, more than pretty much anybody else in Congress, and he's been writing legislation for them so fast. So anyhow, with regard to drugs, same thing. You got the drug testing companies, like, the company that Rick Scott used to be involved with, people who do drug testing for a living. They lobby for this stuff. You've got the private prison industry. You've got the alcohol and tobacco industry who are legally selling drugs, and they don't want competition from another drug, pot. Hey, it would put them out of business. Pot is far less toxic than alcohol, and frankly, a more pleasant high. And it's a lot easier to smoke than tobacco. Although I don't think anybody would ever smoke tobacco or smoke pot the way they smoke tobacco. I mean, you don't go through, 20, 30, 40 joints a day. It just doesn't happen. But anyhow, the tobacco industry, tobacco being a psychoactive drug, alcohol being a psychoactive drug, these two industries are very, very concerned about this. And so they're all pouring money into legislatures. And so what the legislatures do is they pass laws saying that if you're caught with less than 6 grams of cocaine, it's a year in jail. More than 6 grams of cocaine, the minimum mandatory 10 years or whatever it is. I don't know the exact number of years, but that kind of thing. So what Eric Holder has said is that when federal indictments are issued, they're going to stop mentioning the amount, even if they know it. So it won't be part of the record. It won't be part of the trial. So they will bring it up at sentencing. So if the guy is selling pounds of it, that can be taken into account. But they're going to do it in a way that doesn't trigger minimum mandatory laws. This is brilliant.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
The only tragedy is that it's only happening at the federal level, and the vast majority of drug busts are state drug busts. But this needs to happen nationwide.